Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Flying and Eating. Today, let's go somewhere and do something, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hey everyone, it's Adam here. On the last couple of episodes of Flying and Eating, I went to the US Virgin Islands. In the first episode, I went to St. Thomas. I went around to the French Quarter, ate a bunch of food there. I also tried to get into a restaurant called Mi Casita, which was closed. In the second episode, I went out to St. John, which is an island just adjacent there. Had an adventure over there. But in today's episode, we're going to go to the third and final part of the US Virgin Islands. Well, of the main three, I should say. St. Croix.
Day 5! And the roosters are very happy to see me. So back here behind me, this is where you would take like a seaplane, and slightly behind that, that bigger building, that's the dock. We're gonna be taking that. We're taking a boat out to St. Croix. It leaves at 8 a.m. It's not even 7 yet. I was told to be here at 7 because they ain't playing. They're gonna leave without you. All right, so I'm here on time, no problems for me, at least so far, hopefully. It's about a 90-minute boat ride. Once we get there, I've already reserved a car. I'm gonna rent one, drive around. I hate renting cars, and I'm a little off-put about driving British style, but it's all right, it will get this done. And we're gonna go make our own adventure, and then catch the last boat out, which is about 4 o'clock, get back here, have some dinner, and that's the end. I've made it. I'm now in St. Croix here at Gallows Bay. So the plan now is I'm supposed to rent a car. Yeah, I was going to try and show you a nice view, but it's just whatever. I'm going to try and rent a car. We'll make our own adventure. I'm going to go get something to eat. I got a couple of restaurant recommendations from some friends who've been down here before, so we'll see what happens. What's up, man? You a little jealous over there? You want some attention? You guys friends? You want to hang out? Go ahead, you guys go have a good time together. So as I was leaving the port, I'm on my way to go get the car, there was this lady like screaming at a cab driver, and long story short, because she even kind of caught up with me afterwards and for some reason felt like telling me all this. She was very nice, but she was pissed off. And basically what had happened is, so down here, specifically St. Croix, although the only time I took a cab was in St. Thomas, but she claims that the issue here is that on St. Croix specifically, cabs are not really required to have like a meter running or give you really any great sense of what it's going to cost till you get there. Supposedly on St. John and St. Thomas they have to do that, although again I only rode in one cab and it was on St. Thomas and ended up being cheaper than I expected. But anyway, long story short, you know, they had her family, I guess, who were visiting, had to take a cab. It ended up being $100 to get from the airport over to the port there, which is only like a few minutes, and it should not have been that excessive. So she was screaming at him. I don't blame her, but she was basically like, look, the thing is you're just taking advantage of tourists, and if the tourists don't want to come here, then you kill the industry of the islands. So you gotta be smarter than that, and that's absolutely the correct philosophy. This is a national park on St. Croix. Looks pretty cool, actually. There's this tiny little island in the distance there. Maybe we'll go get you a little bit of footage and some coverage as our little detour before we get over to the car. So we've got this fort here, and it has a whole bunch of history. Apparently there's a bunch of them because they were once Danish outposts, and this is our current view. When we look out to the water, that's what we're seeing out there. So this island right there on the map, I guess is that one? No, it's this island, I'm sorry. This small island right there is that island right there. My rental car is here. I'm not super into cars, but you got some sort of Toyota. This is the first time I've ever driven down here. That'll be cool. Add that to the little list of sub goals. It's got a little front end damage, but don't worry, you know, I made sure to take a look at that. I think this is the first time I've ever in my entire life been legally responsible for renting a car. I've never actually done it myself, which is kind of cool. But there you go. That's the car that I was rocking down in the USVI on St. Croix. So now that I have the car, our first goal is simple. We're going to a place called Ziggy's. That's what my friend recommended to me. He said it's a good restaurant. And I'm also hungry. I haven't eaten anything yet today, as you might have noticed. So we're going to go out and do that. And I got to be really focused because while the car may look very standard from an American perspective, and we are in the US, we drive on the left side of the road down here. British style, island style. It's always islands that do this. So I'm going to have to really focus. So I got the Cubano. That's what they're best known for. If you've never had a Cubano, it's got ham, it's got cheese, it's got pork, It looks like Dijon mustard type of things and stuff like that. And unfortunately, it has one horrible thing we had actually been avoiding to this point: the devil's cucumbers. But fortunately, I removed them for the sin that they are. So, that was not a bad little sandwich. I've had better, I've had much worse. It was fine. And, you know, it's kind of interesting for anybody, you know, in the Midwest, potentially, if you've ever been to a QT, or on the East Coast, a Wawa. This was like the island version of the same concept, except the food is much better than a Wawa or a QT. Yeah, no, I said it. I'm right. Yeah, no, I haven't cut yet either. I'm right. So I kind of stopped for a minute, take some photos, and should get some B-roll, all that sort of stuff. And I just had this like thought, aside from being hot and sweaty. So I don't really like to drive. It's not really something I've ever really enjoyed. But there's something about driving here, even though I'm driving on the opposite side, on the left side. I don't know what it is. I feel really just like at peace. And I'm not trying to come off like hippity-dippity, but it's how it feels. You know, I just feel like chill. Probably because it's such a low population and there's no like, you know, traffic or anything like that. But it feels more tranquil, for lack of a better term. I don't know. If anybody else has ever driven around down here, what do you think? So I've taken a little pit stop here to try and figure out what my plan was. I wanted to go to a place called Sandy Point, but there's two problems with this. One, well, the reason I wanted to go there is it's actually where the ending of Shawshank Redemption was filmed. I thought that'd be cool to show you guys. But there's two issues here. One is purely logistical on my end. The boat that I'm going to take leaves at 4 o'clock, which they're very clear on this. You have to be there like an hour in advance. So you have to be there at 3, which means I have to return the car by like 2:40 because I need like 20 minutes to walk from where I dropped the car off over to where the boat is. It's now 2 o'clock and the drive is about 40 minutes just one direction. So it's not possible time-wise for me to be able to do this. But even if that wasn't a factor, it turns out they're in like turtle mating season or something, so people aren't even allowed there right now anyway. So that's a long way of saying, hey, trivia! Shawshank Redemption was filmed here. I'm back at Ziggy's because I wanted some drinks, so I got another one of these root beers. Earlier in the video, you guys saw me go to the top of the mountain there and drink one of these and all that, but I don't think I mentioned this. The reason I drank root beer specifically, I was never that big of a root beer fan. It's good, I like it fine, but it was never a big thing for me. My mom loved root beer, my late mother, and that's the type of situation where I know she would have put herself in, where she would have gone to a top of a mountain and drank a root beer, because where do you think I got that? So I kind of did that for her, so salute to my mom. This is for you. I also picked up a couple more of these because, well, they're good, man. They're just good. Got a very nice view here of basically downtown, if you will, and the marina, everything. I believe I actually came in right over there, like down there in the center. So it's basically where I got to bring the car back to. But I thought you guys would enjoy a nice view. So I just dropped the car off because Budget itself is closed. They told me to bring it over here. This is like Seaborne Airlines. This is where you take like the seaplane, which I would have loved to have done, but there was just no seats available at all. Like I tried buying it. It was just like, nope, nothing available in the next few days. I was like, all right, the boat for me, which I don't really mind. The boat's not exactly a long ride. That would have just been kind of cool, but boat's also cheaper, which is nice. Well, there's a whole bunch of islands down here and a bunch of different cultures kind of all coming together and all that. I haven't been to a whole lot of them. So, funny enough, the comparison that I can only make really is to Havana. This feels to me like how Havana, Cuba would feel if it wasn't 1958 in Havana. This is where I wanted to take you guys, to Hamilton's, but unfortunately it is not open. Okay, plan B. Let's just get some ice cream. So I can't say it was anything special, but that was some really fine ice cream. To quote my mother, that was some damn fine ice cream. Locally owned too, so if you're here, you're supporting local. No, it was good. If you're craving ice cream, can't say I can recommend anything better. Apparently they also have, yeah, they got that. So overall, I'd say my day in St. Croix was pretty cool. I would actually prefer to come back. I was not here even close to long enough, a couple of hours. But yeah, definitely something to check out. Next time, if there is a next time, I'd come here and stay for at least a couple of days. Renting a car was super convenient, admittedly. I get why people do that now. But in all seriousness, it's just expensive. It's annoying to pay for it, but it's cheaper than cabs, which was nice to have validated by a local. But yeah, now I'm gonna go hit the boat and head back to St. Thomas. I'm thinking that What I want to try once again is the salt and vinegar place that the evil Rob Thanos keeps suggesting, and this place keeps not existing. It keeps not being open. And I feel like Rob knows this because he's evil. I mean, he's the evil Rob Thanos, right? So I'm guessing that he keeps sending me there as a wild goose chase. But we'll see. So I have verified that the evil Rob Thanos has in fact wasted my time again. The place is closed. So I'm gonna go drop off my bag and find something else. It all comes back to where it began. They are actually open tonight, so we're gonna make this happen. My food has arrived. Look at that fish, it's still got the head and the tail. And there it is, the infamous mofongo. I've been looking forward to trying this for a long time. So just got out of there, not bad, not amazing. It was one of those things where like, it was obviously very traditional, which I was actually very appreciative of. I like that. And I had never had mofongo in my entire life, so I have no basis for comparison. The fish itself, it started off great. I love the coconut milk flavor and all that stuff that was built. That's what it was coconut milk, like fish. Do a lot of your own work, which I'm fine with, not a problem. But it was one of those things where like, I was getting kind of tired of it. And the same kind of with the mofongo. It tasted like really thick potatoes, but I don't know if that's right or not. I imagine it's supposed to have more like sauce to it or something, but I don't know. Either way, it was fine. I wouldn't do it again though. Good morning. It is day 6 here. This is my final day on St. Thomas, at least for this trip. Hopefully one day there's another trip in mind. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time. I just checked out of the hotel. I'm gonna go get something to eat and then basically walk over to the airport. Unfortunate for me, today happens to be some sort of holiday, so most stuff isn't open. And that which is open does not open until like 11 in the morning, hence I'm basically going right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the old standard. I'm going back to Frenchtown and going to the French Quarter because they're open. That's pretty much all that is. So I went with a meal. It's gonna be fried chicken, mac and cheese, a side of gumbo, and a side of a rum bananas Foster dessert. I don't usually do the rum, but you know, you cook it and it burns out the alcohol and that's just flavor. But anyway, we will begin here with our little bowl of gumbo, which has andouille sausage in it. So I mixed it up because I'm a heathen, but man, this is really good. I do recommend. So there it is, our fried chicken and our baked mac and cheese. So it's pretty good. The mac and cheese is more like a cheese pasta, and it tastes more like, I would say, macaroni and butter more than cheese. The cheese is all on the baked part on the top, but it's good though. But this is pretty solid fried chicken. It's not the best I've ever had. Babe's Chicken in Texas still wins, but this is actually really good. The more I sit there and think about it, the fried chicken was solid because the breading on it was a little spicy in like a mild spicy way. It was good, it was unique. So here it is. This is my bread pudding, the rum-based bread pudding. As you guys have seen in a couple other videos, I enjoy bread pudding. It's a relatively new concept to me, but having a rum-infused one is very specific to the U.S. Virgin Islands because, hey man, like Captain Morgan and all that stuff, that's all based here. That's what they're known for is rum. But as someone who doesn't drink, I tend to avoid it. But last day, I gotta do something. Okay, I'm gonna say it. This is the best bread pudding I've ever had. Now granted, it's a little biased because it's got different things that most bread puddings don't do. It's banana bread based, it's got the rum sauce. This certainly defeats the one in Dallas and the one in Astoria by a lot. This is really, really good. I wish I had had more desserts here. There she is, the airport, and we're gonna walk down there on the left. You see those buildings, the planeway in the distance. It's a long walk, but actually this wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't that hot out. All right, I made it, and I probably look like a tomato. It's hot out, man. There's a lot of walking. What do you want from me? Anyway, so now I'm gonna go ahead and check in for my flight and all that stuff. Unfortunately for me, there's no direct flights to Chicago from here during the week, only on weekends. So I'm gonna have to, you know, go through a connection, but whatever. Check it out. This is kind of rare. The only other airport that I can think of off the top of my head that has open air ticketing like this is Honolulu has this. But outside of that, I don't really see that this much. Or that much. So this is a little unique, even though we're still in the US and we're going back to the US, I have to go through customs, but I actually get to take advantage of my global entry. I haven't been able to use that in a long time. So I may be raining sweat, but all good over here. Thankfully, I mean, while they don't have clear here, like I said, they have TSA pre-check, which is nice, and having, I didn't expect my global entry card to be of any value, but that jumped the line. So this airport, like when you're here, they kind of advise you like, hey, be 3 hours early. And I thought that was excessive. Now I see why. If I hadn't had those things, I'd probably still be out there for like another hour at least. So keep that in mind. So that place right there, the Hibiscus Cafe, was recommended to me by a few people. I'm not really hungry, obviously, but this is a quick look at the the entirety of the waiting area. Well, we have arrived at Newark Airport, one of my many airport homes away from home, but trying to get home for real this time. So I'm gonna go over to my gate and make that happen, but maybe I'll find something to eat in here. This place actually has surprisingly acceptable food for an airport. Thought I'd show you guys something kind of interesting. If you're ever in this section right here, around the time of the anniversary of 9/11, when that happens, they build like a monument thing right here. So we're gonna go here to Tagliare, at least I assume it's pronounced that way. I don't think that says Jagliare. Anyway, it's a decent pizza place to have, like New York / New Jersey style place. Like outside the city, I would say this is not great. Inside the confines of an airport, technically on New Jersey soil, about the best you're gonna get. So if you're ever out at this section of the airport at Newark, they have a unique way of buying stuff. They have self-checkout. You go and you order the thing yourself. It prints out a little QR code thing, then you take it over to one of these registers, you scan it, and you pay for it. And here is what I got, sort of. This is the inherent flaw with an ordering system like that. They apparently, I ordered a margarita, not this. And I guess they didn't have any more, so they just put that in the box without talking to me. It's kind of weird, you really don't interact with a human being. It's kind of annoying. So if you want to imagine what that pizza was like, but not margarita, take a piece of bread, flatten it out, melt a like a mozzarella stick on it, like string cheese. Melt that on it. That's what that was. There was no sauce on that. That was the exact opposite of a margarita pizza. I don't know what that was. The other one, the 4 cheese or whatever, was not bad. That was the one with like the big white, section in the center, like in little bubbles or whatever. 5 cheese, not bad. The pepperoni was just whatever. That said, probably still the best you're going to find in this airport, and definitely better than like most of the countries over here have by actual pizza state standards from New York, New Jersey, or Illinois. Come on, New Jersey, do better. And I'm back home in Chicago. The adventure has come to an end. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video down in the US Virgin Islands. It was a really cool experience for me, man. It was nice to be in a new part of America that I had never been to, and I want to go back. I do. There's a lot of stuff there that I feel I could still do, especially in St. John and St. Croix, since I didn't really get to spend a whole lot of time there. And stay tuned, because there's some stuff that's gonna reappear. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and all that great stuff. Social media stuff's down in the description. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, all that sort of stuff. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.